hate puppies. Good podcast.
I feel threatened. It's like you.
Yep, that's where you talk.
You think I would get that, but it's still hard.
Week
sometimes. 1. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Inside the Pallet House, the only podcast dedicated to solving first world problems and hopefully helping you figure out what beer you should be drinking next week. And of course, helping you know which philanthropic efforts you should be backing this time of year. Because it is the giving season.
But what if you want to give to, say, 22, 23 charities all at the same time?
Well, then you would have to find one true 5013C charity that actually supports other charities. And that's
almost impossible.
I don't think you could find that. Like you're saying, give your money to one organization.
Yes.
And then at the same time help 20 plus organizations?
Yeah. All with 100% of that money going to those organizations.
Not possible.
Specializing with children.
Oh, we're just going to make it more niche?
Yeah.
Let me think on it. I got it.
You got one?
I'm not kidding. M4K Richmond.org.
Mustaches for kids. That's right.
That would do that. Oh, man. Know what the next thing we should do?
What?
If we're going to lead in with something that unique and crazy, we should get multiple dudes who are on the board in the Pallet House to talk about it.
How?
Well, that I don't know. I mean, you just gave me the ultimate challenge.
Yeah.
I came through. Now it's up to you to fucking provide. I can't do I don't know.
That's fair. You did figure out the last issue.
So now if you could just figure out how to get...
Say Mike and Mike?
From the board at M4K Richmond. No, right.
Well, they're usually here every year around this time.
Good luck. Do it. Make it happen. Do your little magic. What? Hey.
That's the sound.
Oh, my gosh. We got Mike and Mike from M4K.
What's up, everybody?
That's awesome.
Good evening.
Just had to sound the signal.
Boy, that was 2 minutes of delightful banter. Look at
you guys are super convincing, by the way.
Yeah. Well, we've been doing this for a while.
Maybe acting is where you should go next.
I got a face for podcasting.
Yeah. I'm going to stick to it. I got a mustache for podcasting.
You have a mustache for service work. I have a mustache for fucking you're not allowed in the house. It's not going
Troy
well.
does exude law enforcement. I don't, or some sort of enforcement body. Of
Doesn't
some
he?
kind.
Yeah.
Absolutely
Something
does.
that wears a uniform.
Yeah, for sure.
You should. I mean, you look damn good with a mustache.
Well, I look like, yeah.
I saw a thing. So at my work, we do
Blessing and a curse.
I advertise for all kinds of things.
Yeah.
And we work for a police department. We help them with their recruitment efforts. And we had this like native article we were going to be putting out on the internet. And so we're proofing it, make sure everything looks good. And I'm reading it. And it was like, oh, look at this. Like Denise Kennedy. I was like, that's crazy. And it's like a mom talking about how proud she is of her son. And there's this big Troy Bauer looking dude. This like gorgeous mustache, you know? And then I read down and it's like, and then let's introduce you to her son, Brendan Kennedy. And I'm like, shut the front door.
Really?
I was like, I've never seen anybody.
That's hilarious.
So like, there we go.
I think you got your Stash Bash costume all lined up then.
Couple of cops.
Brendan Kennedy.
Yeah, I could just be me. Actually, I think I may have found a costume. It's an idea. It's a concept that I'm noodling. Ben Stiller loves to do characters in mustaches.
He does.
And the other day I saw one of the growers and he really, the way he had his mustache, it was too long. It was bad. And he looked like when Ben Stiller's in Happy Gilmore and he's like at the retirement home. And he's like,
the orderly.
He's like, you think your fingers hurt now, you know? Right. And I was like, oh my gosh, like Stiller loves doing that.
Yeah.
You know, he's done the dodgeball. And I was thinking if we could find like 4 Stillers.
Oh, 4 mustache Stillers.
And then just dress up as all the different.
The Global Gym guy.
He's the best.
That would be the best.
He's the best. I mean, White, yeah, he's
Has
perfection.
somebody done that one before? I feel like maybe I've seen that one before.
It's funny you guys like organically bring that up because I was talking to another board member last night. Gave him a ride out to the meetup, and he was telling me last year he bought the costume because I was like, "What'd you go as last year?" He's like, "Aaron Rodgers," and I was like, "Oh, that's cool." he goes, well, I grew my mustache and had a little soul patch thing because I was going to be white.
I can't remember what.
White Goodman.
White Goodman.
Yeah. And he goes, do y'all know who I'm talking of yet? Which board member I'm talking about? I'm not going to put him
Hunter?
on. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's like, I bought the costume. I didn't plan it out or try it on. He's like, I tried it on. And he's like, look like a goddamn Vienna sausage.
You know who would make
You might
have it?
I was going to say you might want to reach out to him.
Does it have the inflatable penis section? Because that's the part.
Well, you have a couple of those, right?
You know who would
Well,
make
not
a
the
really
proper.
good White Goodman?
Who?
Is Lee.
Yeah.
He has all of it.
Yeah.
He's got the hair. If he just grows his mustache down a little
Yeah.
bit, he would be the spitting image of White.
The abacus is how he'd be known.
Yeah.
Here, in this-
Abacus,
this one.
sorry, the
Abacus told me
Abacus.
last night that he was going to rerun something. So I feel like if you think that's a good option, you could sell him on it.
I just think if we take the time to look at Ben Stiller's entire catalog, I bet there's a handful of mustaches we
Oh,
could,
yeah.
and then just get people to do it and just show up as the Stillers. Meet the Stillers.
That'd be pretty good. Yeah, that'd be pretty good.
I'm noodling some things here.
We got plenty of time.
I could be sold.
Because I said I was going to go as Hulk Hogan, and then Mike
Gave up.
over here, well, he busted my balls, and I was like, that's it, I'm out.
No. I said, look, I'm not trying to I think I led with, I'm not trying to discourage you, but it's been done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, but to be fair, all of them,
Everything's
been done.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
very rare, unless you do something that's like this year type of thing, and then everybody does it, like Ted Lasso or
yeah.
something like that.
How many Kelseys do you think there'll be?
Oh, it's
yeah,
going
that's
to
a
be
good call.
so dumb.
There's 5 guys sitting at home going, "Oh, I got it. Nobody's gonna," and they all show up.
Do you think
Yeah.
anybody's going to get a personalized jersey though that says Karma on the back?
That,
Don't,
See, as a Swiftie, I get that joke.
yeah.
I don't think
word.
we have a lot of Swifties.
Karma's my boyfriend.
Well,
I get
Great.
it. I'm with you.
great.
Yeah. Just takes a couple Swifties.
Well, and that's the problem, right? Because you got to pick a costume that like people get. You can go original, but you're going to get so in the weeds, like no one's going to get the joke. You're going to be like, "Oh, I was the guy in the one scene in that obscure movie that no one saw." Like, okay, well, you might look just like him, but who the hell's that? You know?
Which is
Yeah,
kind of.
I was Uncle Rico one year, and it did not slap quite as hard as I thought it might.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
I think
really?
that's brilliant.
I would have thought that would hit because there's always a couple of those.
I feel like when you're early in your mustache career, you're like every year I'm gonna shoot my shot every year, and I'm gonna be the best. And then like after 3 or 4, maybe 5 years, you're like, you know what? I just got to find my persona,
Yep.
lean into that, and that's who I am. Or
That's
who
where
I'll
I
be.
am. I'm trying to come up with not a costume, but a persona, like or just an outfit that I could wear every year, just because I'm all out of ideas.
People run out of money too. They're like,
Yeah.
Right.
they're like, these things are getting really expensive.
Yeah.
Right.
Spend a couple $100 on my costume.
Right. Guys
that
are
I
trying
wear
to like
once.
trying to maximize their Halloween and their stash bash
Yeah.
costumes.
There really should be a mustache exchange costume exchange
brought this up a few
program.
years ago.
Yeah,
It's like, hey
yeah.
guys, do you guys want to get together and exchange some stuff?
Not a bad idea.
Because we all are just buying new crap every year.
Yeah, I'm going to go as Keith Hernandez then. that would piss some people off. If people out there don't know what we're talking about, at the end of all of this mustache shenanigans, which shenanigans is code for raising money for children,
A ton of money.
hopefully. At the end of it, we all celebrate by getting together at the Stash Bash, which is the final day of growing. And it's when we find out how much money we've raised for the children's charities here in the area. And we get an opportunity to bring out whatever persona we find that our mustache has taken on over the course of the month. And Troy and I have gone as all kinds of different things. And it does get difficult year after year to come up with something.
I think you guys
something fresh.
increase the difficulty because you usually do 3, 4. You do like kind of a team thing almost, like right.
try
Like,
to.
Yeah, I think that's. I actually love that, but it has to be way harder. It has to be way harder to coordinate.
It's a lot more difficult.
Yeah.
And then when you had Ely showed up that one year as Wooly Willie, I mean,
That
that
was
kind of
a
takes the
game
cake.
changer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's tough.
That was amazing.
That was tough to beat. That was tough to beat.
He's smart like that.
And he did it right. Like,
Oh, yeah.
like it was nice.
Yeah, it's like he went to the toy store, bought it, and made it bigger somehow, and then stuck his head through it. And I was like, "This is perfect, dude." Like,
He
I don't
was
even know.
miserable the whole night.
He was miserable.
He was
He was
absolutely
miserable,
He was
but
like,
it was-
he at one point he kept having to turn his head because his ears were behind it. So he was like, I can't hear what anyone's. I'm looking at people and they're talking to me, but the big cardboard cutout is blocking all the sound.
The photos are fantastic.
It was worth it in the end.
Yeah,
But it was enough to scare him away.
yeah, it did.
He went so hard that he just fell off the wagon. Now he just doesn't help. He doesn't help the kids.
No.
Oh, it's very sad.
Or the podcast.
No,
Oh, yes. Good.
I'm standing in the
I
Ely
liked
seat.
it.
I'm feeling kind of strong over here. I feel like
It's a good
I
seat.
want to be like
Yeah.
hoorah or something. Like I want to like get all hyped up and start cussing Brennan out for no reason.
that sounds like Ely.
Yeah, 10 minutes in, you're already feeling the vibe. I think, unfortunately, that's probably
You know what he's doing right now?
Not doing a podcast.
It looks to be that he and
Oh,
his
he's at
wife
Disney
are on
again.
another Disney trip, but this one looks sans kids, which every time I see it, I know his wife loves it, but I picture him just railing into you and me if we were to be the Disney husbands like that. Like if our wives dragged us to Disney,
Yeah, how did he get a hall pass for being such a bitch?
I don't know, but I know he would lace into us. He'd be like, "You're doing what?"
Like,
Would he not chew us up and spit us out if we had to go to Disney multiple times a year and like
He just
plan our whole lives around Disney?
He's basically like Tinkerbell. He just follows around the Disney lovers.
Yeah.
Hold on, I'm texting Ely. Tell him you called him Tinkerbell.
Let him listen to this.
I'm not scared. He'd have to come all the way over here to kick my ass.
That's right. He'd have to leave
know,
Disney
that's-
long enough.
Yeah, he can't kick my ass from Orlando.
That's right.
Yeah. He's tough, but he's not that tough. I'm not worried about him. So yeah, but we're excited to have you guys here, man. We're in the middle of we're in the throes of M4K. We
Yeah.
all have mustaches. Some of us better than others. I say we got two strong mustaches in the room, and
Yeah, it's been a 10-year battle for me. You know, like above the shoulder follicle growth is not my strength.
at least you can do a mustache.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I does that happen? Do bald guys can they not grow facial hair at some point? Why does it stop above the ears? Like why doesn't it? I don't understand that.
Because God said that hair people like and they want. We're going to take that from you, but we will always give you the option of a little upper lip hair.
One day they're going to figure it out, and I just like I'll be fascinated. I don't want even my hair to grow back. I just want to learn why it operates the way it does.
Well, it's like James. He's got a great head of hair, but can't grow a mustache.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah. Doesn't
Yeah,
make sense.
Doesn't make sense.
That kills me. He started like, I don't think he ever shaved it off, did he?
I got a guy in my office. The dude is 6'6", 6'7", 100 and nothing pounds. This tall, skinny African American guy, and he's got this cool little mustache and just a little bit on his chin. And he was asking me about M4K and all this stuff, and he goes, "Yeah, I don't even shave."
That's just his natural
Yeah.
look.
Yeah, he goes, "I don't do anything," and I wanted to pull the Joe Dirt line out and be like, "You mean your hair grows in just all white trash?" Like that? Like, because I was like, "It looks shaped." He's like, "No," he's like, "I don't do anything." He goes, "I don't even own a razor." I'm like,
That's crazy.
"How does this work?" Like,
That's amazing.
Yeah.
even with a beard, I have to like trim my neck and like,
Is he French?
I have no idea.
It just seems like the kind of style that
Yeah.
the French do have.
Yeah, it's this,
And maybe that's why that's their style. It's just
Yeah.
that's the way it grows in.
Yeah,
that's how you know if someone's French. He probably does have a little French somewhere back in that lineage.
Yeah.
You had 23andMe, he might be shocked to find out
Right. One of the three musketeers.
how French he really is, you know? That's wild. But so I'm glad to have you guys here. We're off to a good start. We're all growing money for children's charities. And I know the listeners have heard this the last couple months, but I don't think that we have hyped it up as much as we have in years past. And that's probably our fault, but I would hate to take blame for anything. So we'll just say probably. We'll leave it out there.
yeah. We
Like,
usually have Mike and Michael on at the start or even before.
Yeah.
It kind of snuck up on us this year.
So now we're getting them on to kind of talk about M4K on the whole and give us some insight into one, how we're doing thus far, but really kind of some of the background, some of the history in the organization, and just kind of get an understanding so the listeners can really feel like they're donating their money to a worthy cause. Because I know it sounds odd to hear we're just guys growing mustaches for children's charities. It doesn't always compute. But so Mike, I see you over there frantically looking at your phone. So I think you have some stats. I'll start you off by saying, as funny as it sounds, a bunch of guys growing mustaches and raising money for children. When I started doing this, if we could clear $100,000, that was amazing. And I still think that's amazing. And when Keo started doing this, when I first started getting involved with M4K as more of a donator than a grower, I remember seeing like tens of thousands of dollars sometimes walking across that stage and thinking, holy shit, these guys did it. Like,
Yeah. The first year I did it, I think we raised maybe 5,000.
yeah, I could see that. And it was a big deal.
And it was a
we
really big deal. We were walking around with our chest out and we're like, man, this has legs. We're going places.
Yeah. Making a difference.
Yeah, we're changing lives.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
And,
I mean,
and now we really are.
well, to your point, like, and Keo's like OG to this mustache game, so like thousands of dollars was a big deal. But I remember 30,000 or 50,000, and we were mind blown, right? Like,
Yeah.
yeah, that's like daily numbers.
Those days
at
are
this-
gone. Yeah, those days are gone.
It's just go to wild to think about. Like walking through the door this evening, we're at $350,000 already.
This year. And we're halfway through.
a little over 2 weeks, I guess.
Yeah.
And so what did we raise last year?
So
in
last
total?
year it was $850,000, which
It's astronomical numbers.
yeah, if you think about it, like certainly the last three or so years have been really rough on just everyone, right? Like,
Yeah.
but what we actually saw is just actually our growth accelerated through those years. For fundraising, for the charities we support and stuff like that.
Did
So
you get more growers during those years?
we get more grower, generally speaking.
Not the full virtual year, I don't think.
But that's actually the one I was like, did
I wanna
numbers
say
go
that
up?
number stayed pretty stagnant.
I don't remember the exact numbers, but the dollar figures have always gone up.
I remember the virtual year was by far my favorite year to grow. No one was going to see me. It's like I just sent pictures out. Really, the only people that had to deal with it were the immediate family. And then, of course, Thanksgiving was ruined. But that's a tradition now.
Yeah.
But outside of that, I mean, it was just my immediate family. So I thought, this is what growing's all about. You hide in the shadows.
That's
your
right.
Mustache.
That's right. That was my first year as I was president that year, and like I was all pretty gung ho, like December of 2019.
Yeah.
Like, man, this year I'm gonna do all the stuff we could do better. I'm gonna do, and
What happened?
something happened.
What'd you do?
The playbook got torn all up.
Yeah.
We're like, all right, what are we going to do now? And luckily, we talked about it on the show before, but like our Omaha brethren kind of pioneered the way for it, and we copied, stole. I'm not sure what is
Borrowed?
the right. We borrowed.
No, that's we're a team. I mean, all the M4Ks around the country actually.
They're fantastic. A lot of the chapters are fantastic, and we learn from each other. And that was one of the great things out of the pandemic is like everybody's more virtual, bigger social media presences for those things, and then you start to connect with those.
Y'all did
compare
a
notes.
lot of awesome visuals and stuff, like social media stuff, like for that year, I guess, to make up for the not having the stash.
Yeah.
Did the virtual stash bash, but like I still go back and watch the video of everybody cheersing each other with
That was great. I don't know
that
what
was so cool.
we should do that every year, really. But
the Magnum PI theme in it or something.
yeah, those are pretty awesome. But again, like walking through the door tonight, we're at $350,000. That's 100x what the whole year was back 10 years ago when I got involved.
The crazy thing is, though, that you guys have set a really large goal, and we shall see. I don't know if that goal is something that like we put out there, or if it's just like internal, like we'd love to see us get to a landmark. I don't know how that.
Yeah, I I think we're all hoping we're not the Reggie Robies of fundraising here and out kicking our coverage with our goal.
Fucking deep cut there.
Yeah.
It's a big goal. So when you say 350, knowing the goal that you guys created, which adds an extra zero to the end of everything, we're really not even that close in the grand scheme. I mean, we have to get another $650,000. So in that respect, we're far from our goal. And the only reason I mention that is because listeners, if you hear $350,000, that doesn't mean we've made it to where we're trying to be. We are trying to donate. So if you haven't donated and you thought, cool, just take the year off. No, we're still striving to do this. And you can head over to M4KRichmond.org and preferably go to Inside the Pallet House team and find a member there. But if not, find a mic.
Yep.
Just pick any mic on the website. Yeah, it's a great point. I think $1 million goal is something I would have never wrapped my head around, maybe even 2 years ago or 3 years ago. And so, long ways to go. But super, my email out to some of my donors this week were like, good grief. Like, I'm just sort of blown away by like the support that continues to pour in. And that's more the context of how I share those numbers is like, look at, if we stopped right now 2 weeks in, that'd be still incredible. But we have bigger things that we're trying to do, and $1 million in 30 days that would be an incredible accomplishment.
It would be. I still think it's a little. I think the odds of me making the NBA are probably on par, but I'm like, I think we got a shot.
We got this. We got this. We got to push. We got a shot at it.
We need all the help possible, but the numbers are tracking in the right direction. So, like, we're always the last couple weeks is where we raise the most money. And
so this is really
once the mustaches really start to flourish, not yours, of course, but
he's looking at me. I think I bet on the wrong mic. Once the mustaches
really start to flourish, that's when the donations really start to come in. And so we've set a precedent of raising a shitload of money in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And well, we're looking to do it again.
I love it. Have you all noticed this phenomenon of, you've been in your own head for so long and you think that you look a certain way, and then the mustache comes in and you kind of forget what your outward appearance is.
Oh, yeah.
Because your brain is still very much the brain. And so, like, you see a woman do a double take and you think, I must really be looking good today.
Still got it.
And then it doesn't occur to you until, like, a few blips pass. It's like, oh, that's right. I look creepy as shit right now.
Yeah, someone commented tonight. They're like, your mustache is coming in nice. And I was like, oh, yeah, I do. I have a beard all the time. I'm like,
yeah, you don't
still expect to think I have a beard.
It's amazing how much you forget that you're growing a mustache until you're on a Zoom call and someone says, you have a mustache? And it's like, oh, that's right. I look creepy to these people.
I think it destroys my confidence, to be honest, which it should have an opposite effect. But at work, it destroys my confidence because this is the budget time of season. There's a lot of elbows getting thrown, performance management type of season. So, you're in some heated debates at times, and you're in the meeting like trying to represent yourself or your team really well, and like pushing, and you're like, I feel like assertive in this conversation. Then you go to the bathroom, wash your hands, catch a peek, and you're like, you look ridiculous.
I think that's
nobody's
part of my
taking you
problem.
seriously.
Clearly, you should have just been wearing a Hawaiian shirt.
Yeah. No one in this meeting can take me seriously.
No one's taking me seriously.
But I think that's it. We have this persona that our brains have built up over time, and we think that's us. And you know what you look like, for better or worse, but this is it. And you're confident in that skin.
Right.
And then you have that moment when you look in the mirror and go, oh my gosh, that probably came across so weird.
That's
because I look funky. And that happens to me. This time of year is a critical time of year to not only set up the next year, but to close out the year strong. And I'm going about it looking like a creep.
To that point, it's so weird. Like, I've never understood people that get all this crazy surgery on their face and they look totally different. Like, it blows my mind when I see myself without my beard. What's it like looking at the person not being who you think is you coming back in that mirror? Like,
got to take your brain a little while to adjust to that stuff.
Got to be weird.
That's why I'd save my surgery for after mustache season.
I mean, it's it's my kids that keep me honest about it too. Like I walked out of the bedroom today and my son looks at me and he's like, Dad, I'm digging the mustache. I don't think it's as good as the beard, but I like the mustache.
Okay, but see, that's good. That's positive
That's
reinforcement.
positive.
All right,
Yeah.
let's go. Let's go get some more money. Jake, break open your piggy bank.
Yeah, I don't get a lot of positive reinforcement around
I get
the
a lot
house.
of cold shoulder around the house.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's wintry in November.
And I'm reminded that my kisses don't feel right. That one's always.
I told you I'd stop saying that. I'm sorry. I'll get there.
It frustrates me. Troy. It frustrates me.
I don't think this is in the sales materials, by the way.
No, because the truth is, okay, all of that being said, when you do get to that end of the year and you see all the good that we're doing and all the money that was raised, the high far outweighs
It does.
whatever you
Well,
went
and
through.
this and all those silly stories we're telling, that's why people donate. They're like, "Oh, I'll give you $50."
But that's precisely
You're
it.
paying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're going through it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You're putting in the work. Like, yeah, it's not work, but like, you look ridiculous. It's like, hey, I dare you to, wear this outfit tonight, and I'll give you $50. Like, okay, yeah, that's
Yeah, there is a high
Yeah.
at the end of that. And I get that high every time somebody donates to me. Because it's
Exactly.
like somebody crawls out of the woodwork and goes, I respect what you're doing. This is great stuff. Keep up the good work. That's a high.
You want to know a weird feeling that I get being team leader is I get a weird high and low effect because I get an email every time someone on our team gets a donation. So I'm like, bam, yes, that's awesome. Shit, it wasn't me. That's a bad feeling.
I'm glad I don't have to see that. I just see when mine come in and I'm like, oh, that's all right. But it does remind you that you're reaching out to people that sometimes you haven't talked to that person
Oh yeah.
all year, and then they shoot you a little note and they're like, keep up the good work. Like, I'm so happy that you do this. I'm proud of you for doing this. That's the high.
Yeah, some of my bigger donors are people I'd have a longer distance relationship with, It's kind of funny how it works.
Yeah, I mean, to that point, like I remember I've got about 150 or so people on my email chain that I just send it to, and some of those people I have not talked to in years,
Yep,
right?
yep.
Like,
Yeah.
But then every now and again, some random person, like a guy from that I went to high school with this year, asked me, hey, is this still going on? And I'm like, yeah, whatever. You should actually come grow. And he's like, well, I'm actually in Connecticut. I was like, oh, so it's obviously been a while since I've
Been a while. So you still don't live in the neighborhood.
You're right.
So you moved there like a week ago?
Yeah.
And, but yeah, it's such a cool feeling to be like, hey, I'm in Connecticut, but here's $50.
I was wondering why I don't see you anymore.
But now the beautiful thing is you've actually connected with that person. You've had a conversation. So like you're kind of back in touch.
Right. Yeah.
Now when someone asks, you go, oh yeah, Bobby's been in Connecticut for a while.
Right.
There was a contractor that worked on my team, and I guess last November, I didn't really even remember this, and he reached out to me. Honestly, like nice guy. I just kind of, he went on to a new contract, and I sort of forgot about him. And he moved on to he lives in Annapolis, but he remembered that we did this in November, and he reached out to me like October. I don't know. He must have set a reminder on his calendar, like October 31st.
Awesome.
He's like, you still doing this sort of thing? And I was like, yeah. He's like, I think I'm going to do it. And I was like, okay, man, like go to this website and just get signed up, and here's how it kind of works. He's like, cool, I'm in. And I was like, all right, man.
That's awesome.
Totally out of the blue. But it was super cool. I mean, I'm super, I need to check in to see like, how's he doing? I really don't know.
Send him this link.
I had a
Win-win.
cool experience last night at our check-in. I got to take my oldest son, because
I saw that he was helping out.
yeah, he helped out at the swag table, but like he has to get certain community service hours. I was like, this would be a good,
Does it count?
Yeah.
My daughter needs community
Yeah.
service hours.
Yep.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
But that's because she robbed the SPCA. She probably was a long story.
It's more of a criminal thing.
But yeah.
but either way, community service. Yes. Just tell me more.
So he's been watching, he's been watching me do this for years now, and he's met a lot of you guys and seen a lot, but like it was really cool. Like he was like excited afterwards, like talking about how fun it was meeting everybody. And then like the Goose Award was sitting there, and he's like, "Dad, what's that?" I was like, "Oh, that's the Goose Award." And I was like, "See that guy over there? That's the Goose." And then he was like talking with Ben about like how much money we raised, and like he was just getting into the weeds. And I was like, we were talking about how when Kehoe won, like right when I first got in, like you won the Goose in like 16, and I want to say you got like you had raised like 10,000.
Yep.
And now it's like that won't even get you in the top like 30 people.
Yeah, we were talking about that last night. Is like $5,000 used to lock up the Goose for you, and now you're like, I'm in 42nd place. Dude, I with $5,000.
I put my goal at 2,500, and I was like, "Good luck!" Like I was like, "I'll never get there." I'm trending. I mean, I'm trending. I got a shot. There's still some people hanging out there, but all the people I have left are my like $20 donators. Which actually, though, that is your bread and butter. Like that's your foundation. So like,
I think we have 6 or 7 guys now that have gotten over $100,000 worth of donations.
hold on, individual people?
Like, yeah,
In their
the
career.
past 10 years.
In
like,
their career. Yeah.
Not for this
shnikes.
season, but like as
No, but what an awesome, like,
Yeah.
what a badge of honor
Yeah.
to be like, I've raised $100,000, which is
Yep.
damn.
Ben was sending me some stats before I came over here, just some stuff that I thought was pretty cool. M4K Richmond has raised $4.5 million in its history for local kids charities. Now, if you kind of backtrack the math for the last 3 years, a lot of the weight's been carried.
Oh yeah, it's inloaded.
Yeah,
it is inloaded.
So, but that's pretty awesome. And you know, this is our
21st year?
21st year.
Yep.
Supporting, you know, last year or 2 years ago, we really opened the gates on like how many charities we're going to support. And
last year was the first year we did that,
and really kind of not changed necessarily, but more marketed the fact that this is a fundraising platform for those charities, right?
Yeah.
And so, you know, if you get growers in, you get plugged in, and you know, we can grow kind of together. And some of the charities, it was their first year, and they were kind of like, I don't know if they quite figured that out. And then the second year, you can see like right away, they're kind of like, oh, this can be a real game changer for, you know, we have a $10,000 a year operating budget or something like that. And they're like, you know, we can double that with this 1 month in November if we get a handful of guys engaged.
I mean, how huge
girls
is
engaged. That? Yeah, it's great.
Really huge.
Great for
Yeah.
I never thought about
And
I mean, go ahead.
well, I was just gonna say, I mean, it can't be overstressed how amazing the charity partners have been. Like some of them that have been there from day one, like Ask, have helped us like get our stuff together and helped us, you know, develop the constant contacts and doing that kind of stuff and like really getting out there. And then others that, you know, are just bringing new growers to the table every year. Like they have been amazing.
Definitely one hand washes the other, like, and everyone, you know, gets better for it for sure.
I never thought of the fact, though, that it really is. It's an avenue for them to raise money outside of the way that they've always raised money. It's like, oh, here's another way that we can do this.
Yeah, it's like
Just
we've
get
done the
involved.
legwork. Just come in and jump right in, and you don't have to.
Yeah, I mean, how great is that?
Yeah,
Because it's like,
the
all right,
infrastructure's there to just raise
right.
money.
And I think, and not to poo poo on any of these things, but you know, like everybody does a walk. Everybody does a run.
Yeah.
Like those. And so this is sort of
silent auction.
Yeah, it's kind of
Yeah.
novel in a way. Everybody does a fancy thing,
Raffles
like country
and-
club or
yeah.
something, and there's a bunch of overhead attached to events like that. So
all of it.
Yeah, a lot of legwork goes into getting those things to auction. Like,
that's right.
Yeah, you got to put $5,000 in at a minimum just to hope you clear the $5,000, and then you're starting to get money.
Right. Whereas we don't have any of that complexity. It's just more like, hey, come out, participate. And it's a good vehicle for you, and it's probably different than all the other stuff.
and network.
Yeah, I think one of the things that is probably some really good outcomes that maybe we don't talk about enough is like connecting charities on how they can help one another.
Yeah,
It is sometimes the fundraising game can be a zero-sum thing. Is like, hey, there's X dollars that people are going to give to charity, and we're all in somewhat a competition about that. But the more you can kind of break those walls down and go, hey, your needs complements their surplus and vice versa, and like making those connect. We haven't done it we didn't do it this year for sure. I can't remember, but we used to do a charity mixer where we get all the charities together and we just kind of socialize and talk about like what they're up to and kind of how they can help one another. And certainly we have a lot of growers that are attached to, businesses that do well and can offer resources too. And so like many opportunities have been found that way that are, over like totally outside of money. It's just like sort of like, oh, you've got a bunch of toys. We're getting ready to get rid of a bunch of toys. Like, can we just?
But it's not always about money. Like you even mentioned that, like you learned during the pandemic that this is how this one division, I don't know, this other arm of ours, an M4K in what was it, Cincinnati or Connecticut? Where?
Other chapter.
Yeah, there's a bunch of different chapters. Our Omaha chapter is probably I would say probably the model chapter. As far as fundraising goes, they crush it.
But so just that though, that's intellectual property that's changing hands, and you're like, oh, that's brilliant. We can use that as opposed to just monetary. And so that's kind of what you're saying. Those charities get together and go, oh, it doesn't just have to be a gala.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a bunch of different options for them, and you've seen that play out in the people that are getting involved. Like just so many more guys than I think we kind of hovered around 100 or so growers, maybe 150 or so growers for a few years, and we did well with that. This year we have nearly 400 growers, which is kind of mind-boggling. 200 of which are rookies.
Yeah,
So
That's awesome.
200 guys got engaged that had never done this before, which is that's pretty. I couldn't really believe that number. I was like, is that more than we usually get? It's a big number. It's 400 guys, a lot of guys.
Right.
I should say guys. I'm saying guys. I'm still getting used to like kids and ladies as well.
Yeah.
So we've had
Number 2 on the leaderboard, just for the record, is like 9 years old.
Yeah.
yeah, that's right. Like over the last handful of years, like people have opened up their imagination about all these things. So our growers run the gambit of age, sex, demographic, all the demographics. So that's been cool to see as well.
Do you have any idea what the oldest grower we've ever had is?
Oldest grower, like their age.
Yeah, like we just got a guy on the team that like I'm ecstatic about. I mean, he's a grandfather. I don't know his age, but like he's growing.
Yeah,
and he's making a run at it, and he's raising money. And I was excited to meet him. Because I was like, this is great. And, he was talking about how, like, he used to have a mustache and then he had to get rid of it for whatever reason. And, like, his dad had a mustache and his dad had a mustache. And he's like, I'm doing this. And, like, he's excited, but it's like, it's an old guy. And he's doing it and he's hitting his circles. And it's fun to watch.
Yeah, I don't know that. That's an interesting one. We could maybe ask, go into the archives and try to figure that one out. I know Ben's dad grows and he's in his 70s.
Right.
But
Scott's dad.
Yeah, there's a few like dads of some of the board members or just folks that
There's
have
more
grown
than
for-
one grandfather for sure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, 100%. But I don't know their.
But I see a
don't
lot
know
more
their
young.
ages.
I see a lot more young guys coming in too.
We're getting. And,
Yeah.
Well, that's been an effort for a while, is to try and get some young blood. Cause,
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm like on the way out. I'm dying.
I thought you were in your 20s.
Well, I mean, not just that.
I'm in my 20s up here.
but if,
My mustache says it's
In an effort to get the legacy
your hair's
to
getting
live
thinner.
on.
It's not up there.
Yeah. Oh, here we go. Okay, good.
Yeah.
He's coming around.
but in an effort to like get the legacy to live on, like we're trying to recruit those 25-year-olds. Like, I mean, something that's pretty cool for me is my brother is the OG mustache in my family. He's had one since he's 13 years older than I am. He's had one since I can remember, like basically since he was a sophomore in high school.
He's a natural. He's out in the wild.
yeah.
He's a mustache.
We call his type a live one.
A live
Yeah.
one. There it is.
Yeah.
There it is. I do feel there's a couple guys at the gym who are live ones. And now I'm like showing up and I have it.
And
like
you give him a wink.
and I just like, I always feel awkward for the live ones because I'm like,
Do you
I'm
ever
just-
have that like Fight Club? Remember the movie Fight Club where they kind of look at each other and they give a little nod to each other? Like
We all do the secret handshake, right?
Yeah, we just
Whoa,
rub our
there's a-
faces together.
There was a guy. I had to go to my son's school tonight. That's why we got started here. A little later than maybe the guys wanted to, but like there was a guy.
I wasn't
there
grumpy.
Someone was grumpy about it. This guy had a magnificent mustache, and I kind of like kept eyeballing him. Like, You see mine's dog shit, right? Like, so yours looks like you've been working on that for a while. So I was trying not to offend the gentleman, but wanted to see if he was in it with me or what.
Yeah, he's going to give you the. I always wonder, are they looking at you like, oh, in November?
A little Johnny come lately.
Yeah. I feel like maybe that's what he was thinking, but
yeah, but your mustache is bringing in the money that's changing things.
I mean, I don't like to brag, but
That's true.
You're not wrong.
Well, I got a guy that I've seen him in the gym for a year, and he's never seen me with the mustache. And I'm going to try the old knowing nod and just see.
Let me know how
he's
that goes.
never acknowledged me.
Definitely do it at the gym, maybe in the locker room.
Point directly to your mustache while you're doing it.
I like where
Just
this is
walk
going.
through the gym and give the Slater point to everyone.
Yeah.
I'm going to wait till he's in the sauna and then just walk.
that's
Then
right.
give the knowing.
Yeah.
nod.
Yeah.
Go find him when he is least clothed. Do it then.
So that's how you keep it from being weird.
that's
Well,
right.
if you're
100%.
clothed, they might think you're like talking about your shirt or your, matching shorts or something. But if you're just
true.
natural, it's like I got nothing on but my mustache.
You don't want to leave any doubt.
Yeah.
I think you want to all the ambiguity out the window.
I think this is good advice I'm getting. So I'm like, I'm
Would we ever steer you in the wrong direction?
I certainly wouldn't.
well, that's where I'm conflicted, because I do know that you all find a little joy in my misery. But at the same time, you also want me to succeed.
Yeah.
I do.
That's right.
I just want good pod. That's really all that's my angle. That's my angle all day long.
Perfect. Perfect.
We gave up on that a long time ago.
I'm feeling the energy tonight.
Yeah, you got 4 mics tonight.
Yeah.
So look at that.
Yeah. I got a special deli if we even want to
nice.
go there.
Yeah.
Let's do it. I'm almost
it deli
finished with
time?
this beer.
It's technically deli time. I watched this guy crack a fresh beer. So he's
What am I looking for now?
I'll drink them.
red bag. I took it's on
Not
top.
familiar with the Red Bag Brewing.
While Troy's looking for that, though, I
think it's red. You're asking
I was going to say red bag from the red green colorblind guy. I'm looking in this
It's red.
I'm looking in this fridge. And guess what's not in there?
Okay.
I
Is
didn't
there
make
a
the connection.
Is there a plastic bag in there?
That's black.
Even that's not red, Brendan.
I honestly thought it was red. They must have like neon lights in there or something.
That bag is black.
Okay, nobody knows what color it is.
Let's agree to disagree.
Yeah.
I mean,
move on.
it's really the absence of color.
Yeah.
It's absorbing all the colors. But yeah, we'll go with red.
The can's red.
The can is red.
Maybe that was your.
Aha.
Do you see the difference there?
Okay, can you take a look at the gentleman's face?
What do we got there?
Does he have a mustache?
Does he have a mustache?
I think he does.
Only Troy can see.
He does have
what
a
do we have?
mustache. I sent my daughter into the place and she's like, "What are you looking for?" And I was like, "A beer I've never had, and the person on it has got to have a mustache."
You sent your daughter in to buy this?
Your daughter to go find this?
Yeah, and she came back and goes,
No, I take it all back. She should come get some community service hours, get some better male mentorship.
She's an 8th grader.
I mean, her dad sent her on kamikaze
unless she's
missions
a seventh grader.
into the bottle store.
"Yeah, well, okay, look,
They
however
sold it to
happened."
her?
Of course they sold it to her. Strangely, so I was with her, but another guy
Ironically,
came in.
this is why she has to do community service.
What are the odds? The funny thing is also like this, as she and I are buying beer, there was another guy. There was like an older guy, and then like clearly someone who was too young to be getting cigarettes, and they were both standing up there like, we'd like some cigarettes, and they were like, "Oh, well, what kind of cigarettes?" And the old guy's like, like a Camel Red or something, and or a Marlboro Red or something, and the guy's like, "Well, I mean, we have all these Marlboros," and then the guy goes, "We have the specials, and they're cheap," and then the kid goes, "Ooh, the specials are cheaper. I mean, that's the better stuff, right? Let's get the Marlboro specials." And then the guy goes, No, I think we just need something normal. And he's like, "What do you even call these anymore?" And he's like, the gold ones. And I'm like, what is happening here? Like, is this guy about to give this kid like his first cigarette?
He was obviously a kid.
Obviously high pitched voice, like voice
Yeah.
hadn't even changed yet. but the kid kind of smelled a little bit like beer. I was like, what is happening in here? And then like they got a lighter, and then the older guy tried to like make it cool, and he pulled this. A lot of people smoke cigars, but we're kind of cigarette connoisseurs, and like we're just working our way through some cigarettes. I'm like, you guys have no idea what the hell is.
That sounds like a bad movie.
No, it was weird.
I
And
think this was from Superbad.
But this is just after I told my daughter, I was like, find the beer with the mustache on it. So, like, it's just two old people and two kids getting cigarettes and beer.
There's another guy in his car going in there and get me a pack of cigarettes.
Yeah.
I don't know what was happening, but that guy must have had a weird. The guy's selling it.
With the Parkway Brewing Company Get Bent Mountain IPA. This is the grapefruit edition. It's got an old man bent over, which is a staple on the Get Bent IPAs.
But he's got a mustache.
And he's in front of a big grapefruit.
It's hard to see.
It's a 7.2 ABV.
Oh, it's a big mustache.
Snikey.
It's not just a place; it's a state of mind. West Coast styled IPA.
This is going to be so good.
So the West Coast is going to punch you in the face, but they put the grapefruit in there to mellow her out.
I mean, I always like that grapefruit sculpin.
Oh, then so
yeah, so did I.
If you smell this, the grapefruit is heavy on the nose.
Yes.
I'm. Is this like a newer beer? I guess or.
Oh yeah.
Is that new? I mean, Get Bent.
I've never seen it. I've never seen it before.
You've seen the
is
Get
not
Bent.
new,
Yeah,
yeah.
the
I've seen Get
Bent's-
Bent before.
Yeah, that's been
I've
around.
never seen the grapefruit.
And
Yeah, I
full
don't
transparency, the only reason this was purchased is the guy has a mustache,
Sure.
and that's
Fitting.
all I was looking for.
The only reason I ask is I feel like these like hop forward IPAs have kind of lingered in popularity. So like you just don't see newer beers being produced.
You finally come around to our side. Oh boy, that's got a lot of.
Yeah, so what happened? What's your take on that, Mike and Mike? Like, I've always hated all the hop forward IPAs. I've never liked any of them. And I'm always been beating the drum that people are stupid and are just like, oh, it's good, and it's like they're popular because like brewing got popular, and I just never thought they were as good as people say they were. And now it's kind of regressing like you're talking about. So like, do people stop liking them? Like, how does that work?
I think a couple of things happened. The breweries that made it are better. So they don't need to like bury you in hops to fix shit that they brewed.
Correct.
I also think folks were like kind of super into it, and then they're like,
Too much of it?
"Bro, 7%
Yeah.
on an all afternoon is too much for me."
It's
Yeah.
way too much.
So they start seeking, stuff that's a little closer to 4 or 5% ABV, and as a result, people are like, "Well, we got to get something a little closer to lager."
I've never disliked the alcohol content so much as the overall feel and flavor of it's just too much. Like, it's just way too much.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
it's kind
agree
of
with that.
it's kind of like a little bit is good, and then people are like, "Well, more has got to be better," and then they just took it too far.
funky.
I think it took it too far. Like the doubles are too much these days. Very few doubles I feel like people are into. Triples are you don't even see those anymore.
Well, we learned from On at the answer that these are quick and easy to make, and they don't like. You can fuck them up, whereas like the
Right.
pilsners and the cleaner beers are harder to get right.
yeah,
and
because
take
it
longer.
shows imperfections more
Right.
easily because you can't just hide it.
Yeah,
But I bet a Falcon Smash is not easy to drink, and that's one of the better beers you'll get probably on the East Coast.
that
but
is
like,
a good beer.
Man, that beer is
definitely
fantastic.
Definitely
And
in Richmond,
But
and
it's
that's 7%. But it does like it's the right like it
It's
hits the
smooth,
sweet
but
spot.
that's
on that.
actually
It
what,
doesn't give you the
yeah. I think that's why the
so many of
hazies
the
became.
over hoppies.
I think that's why the hazies became so popular. Is they all kind of fit in that.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
cut
tend to
that
agree.
hops a little
Yeah.
bit, and it's
That's my expert beer aficionado analysis,
yeah,
but I have no idea.
adjacent to aficionado.
Very close. See, you're gonna get what you deserve. When I say
I know. I even started.
I've been holding back on you
I
because
was
you're
like-
so sensitive.
I was
earlier.
like, should I even come at him?
don't
'Cause-
come at me.
Don't come at me, bro.
Don't come at me, bro.
Leave Brittany alone. You're Brittany in that.
Sexy bitch.
This beer is very interesting because I hated it. Now I don't. I'm very.
The first sip sucked.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm jumping over from like a pretty hop forward beer, so I think I'm gonna have to drink a few. If somebody else wants to go first.
I'll go
Please
first.
do. Let's let Troy dive in.
Yeah. When I first pulled this out of the red air quote bag, I was like, oh man, Get Bent. I remember Get Bent was one of our first delis, and I don't remember many of them, but I remember hating it. Like I was like, this is gross.
Yeah.
So when I saw the Get Bent, I was like, uh-oh.
Who's got a mustache?
But I didn't take that into consideration.
Guy has a mustache.
Yeah.
Got a mustache. And there's literally the only one in the whole
Were you guys
store.
around when we did the Hardywood lip brow? Somebody,
Yes.
Hogan was wearing
that,
the
yeah.
shirt last night, and I was like, damn, I'd forgotten all about that beer.
That beer was good.
Sure.
I had like 7 of them.
I mean, it was literally just like
It was like a single base or
it was
something
like the
that.
Great Return.
Was
with
that what it
some
was?
syrup in it.
Yeah. I was going to say, I'm sure they didn't put much work into it.
Don't get me started on Hardywood.
Oh, yeah. I can't speak highly of them either. But this isn't bad. I think the grapefruit
Helps.
and Mike called it out prior to drinking it. I think he nailed it. Like, it definitely cuts some of that funk and hop forward out of it. I think I wouldn't say it's a good beer. I wouldn't like seek it out, but it's above average. I'll give it a 3.
Okay. So on the nose, I actually love the way the grapefruit stink is.
Yeah.
It's kind of exciting. My first sip, though, I was like, this is horrible.
Yeah.
And then the grapefruit stuck around too long. And then the hoppiness stuck around too long on the second sip. This beer has a bit of a problem of sticking around too long. It's kind of what I've noticed. There's something that's always lingering in the back. It's like they just like it flew too close to the Malort sun. But I like it better than the grapefruit Sculpin, which is like a pretty popular grapefruit IPA. It's just one that I don't.
It's a tough take.
Well, you gotta have hot takes.
That is a hot take.
That's a hot
I
take.
mean, you're getting clicks on that one, bro.
You're coming at me now, bro.
Well, I like mustaches more than fish. That's a label joke. It's a label joke. But I don't think it's like this amazing beer, though.
No.
Like, I just think it's good. It feels good at 7%. I can tell you that. But I'm literally in between a 3 and a 3.5. I've been having a hard time with it. That last sip was pretty tasty. I'm going to bump it up to a 3.5 because I like the way the grapefruit plays with it. I actually think that makes it a much better version of the Get Bent IPA. So I'm going to go 3.5.
Michael?
So I'm a little different than you. I mean, I think it is drinkable, but I don't think it's very good.
Yeah, that's fair.
Is it crushable?
Yeah.
I think it's
Hope not.
I think to your point, it's too much of everything.
Yeah, it's all sticking around, right?
Right. They put too much hops on it and then put too much grapefruit in it and trying to cut the hops. And now it's just too much stuff.
Too busy.
So like, but it's drinkable. Like I will finish this. Don't get me wrong.
You're a professional.
So like, I think I'm more like a 2.8.
So 2.5 or 3. Which one are we going to go? Let's
we gotta
get
go.
The math
to,
gets
let's
really
get to,
hard if you go
let's get to
debate.
brass tacks.
Okay. I'm going 2.5.
Okay. So we got a 3, a 2.5, and a 3.5.
Is that, I mean, I don't do a lot of
Delis.
delis. So
That's a
is
fitting-
3 like anything above, is 3 average?
2.5 is average,
2.5 is average.
Yeah.
I'd say this is average.
which is you're probably exactly where
Yeah.
you want it to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
This is
based on your
2.5.
description, 2.5 was
That's
the
an
number.
average beer.
Yeah, 2.5 was definitely the number. Then.
Yeah, you don't hate it. You're going to finish it. Anything under a 2.5, sometimes I won't even finish.
Okay.
But a 2.5 a finish. A 2 I'll usually finish. If we're in the ones, I am not
Yeah.
putting this down the gullet.
With that rubric in mind, I'm you know, I hate the.
He just,
I thought I
just wanted
actually-
to say rubric.
I know, but I thought I painted a pretty good picture, but okay.
It wasn't a shot. It was. I was like, I was gonna go 2, but then I was like, I'm gonna drink all this and be fine with it. I don't think it's a very good beer. I was gonna pan it a little bit, but I don't like the Get Bent beers at all. I don't think I've ever had the grapefruit though. I think the grapefruit helps, but there's just not a lot to it. Like I kind of expected a little bit more. So you don't get a lot of flavor, but you do get a lot of like. I got a bunch of shit in my mouth. Like,
No, that's the problem.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
I don't get any flavor, but all the downside of
of all the flavors.
of all the flavor when you have a big like punchy beer. So, and at 7%, like I feel like you can get in a lot of trouble with this thing. There's not just not a lot of flavor to sort of govern you. So, I don't know. I guess I'll go 2.5 because I don't hate it, but I don't like it.
That's fitting.
I think it landed exactly where it should, which
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
so there you go.
It's fine.
Like I reached for the 3.5. I was between the 3 and the 3.5, and now that I hear, I'm going to stick with my guns. But hearing y'all makes me hate it more.
Yeah, I kind of wanted to give it a lower score, but with I wasn't kidding with the rubric was
No, it makes
was like
sense.
if it's average, I was like, yeah, it's just average. It's
So
2.5.
it fits average.
2.5.
Yeah, I think that's about exactly where this beer should have ended up.
But you wouldn't have been wrong with it too if that's what your palate says. You got to be true to it.
Yeah, but I don't dislike it though.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't like seek it out or anything.
I said the best part about this beer is how it makes me feel.
Wait,
That's the 7.
label wise, I
Yeah.
would give the marketing here.
Oh, he's gonna
I would-
stew it.
I would give
Stew it
this.
up.
I love
True,
the
I
mustache.
did not give it the extra
I love
points
the
for
grapefruit.
Got
It
the
has
big
a,
grapefruit behind him.
They call it Get Bent. The guy's bent over. I mean, that's
Yeah.
a 4 for me.
And apparently it's red.
Yeah, it is red.
Yeah.
Which
the bag,
nobody knew.
The bag was
No,
not
yeah,
red.
no one knew. No one knew
The
that.
bag's not red.
I could have sworn they were handing out red bags.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Red bags.
Nobody knows.
It's so weird to me that that's red to you.
No, it's not now. I think I just
Oh,
Had a stroke.
no like what.
that was earlier.
It's a multiple stroke kind of day.
It's a multiple stroke thing. It's not a joking matter.
No.
No, no. And I think you guys should take it a little more seriously.
I take it back.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I apologize.
I'm sorry.
for
I
all
didn't,
your-
I didn't want all
your
that.
strokes.
You can take it back, but I don't need to. Oh, there it is. Never mind. What a fucking gentleman.
That's me.
Oh, dude, can I tell a little story tangent?
Yeah.
For a bit, you don't mind?
That's what we do here. We go on
100%. What's on the board?
It's just well, the board's over here, but I like that you're looking over there.
It used to
That's
be
how
over
long.
there.
That's how long it's
I haven't been
been
here in a while. So
Yeah.
where is the? What
He
is
just
this
writes
board?
it on paper now.
What's this board?
So
Oh, so
unfortunately,
nobody knows what the topics are but you.
Yes.
yeah, that's unfortunately football spreads.
No, I knew I wasn't going to call you out on that, but
Well, gambling's legal now
And some art.
if you
you're
do
smart
it
over there.
through a sanction. If you're paying taxes, never mind. There's no gambling.
This
on that
doesn't
board.
look like a governed app on this whiteboard over here.
It is.
It is.
It is. That's
It's
legal.
vetted.
Every week I have someone show up from
FCC
the
shows
gaming.
up and
the gaming
say it's
commission.
cool.
Yeah.
They say it's cool.
Well, ooh, when you belch this up, it's grapefruity. That's
So
fun.
is
bonus.
Cake your like resident picker guy? Like, I mean, does he give out his picks? Like,
Nah, he's only won one.
is he the man room's version of the bear on ESPN?
I've won 2 this year.
The bear got fired, by the way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is he the man room's
No.
version of Stanford Steve?
No, unfortunately not. But we do have a couple.
That would be me because that guy's always wrong.
Yeah, I was going to say,
I just meant the
I
guy
know
that's
Cake.
giving
and
out
I,
his
I
picks.
would have not
Like,
guessed him as a handicapper.
here are the spreads, fellas, and this is what Cake
Yeah.
says.
Yeah. In
What
college,
is he on Twitter?
in college football, that dude is a wizard. Professional football, he's just like the rest of us.
Just
You know,
throwing
really?
darts.
I would
Somewhere
have
around
never guessed that.
somewhere around 500 if you're lucky, you know. But in college, yeah, it's literally crazy. There was one week I was driving down, going out of town, and we were about to cross the Virginia border, and I said, "Do me a favor. I'm just going to read you some spreads, some college football games, and just I want you to tell me your gut reaction." What he didn't realize is every single time he told me his gut reaction, I put $10 on it, and I just did that for the entire college slate. I made more money on that Saturday than I've made in whole years betting on sports. It was amazing. So yes, for
Why
college.
don't you stick to that?
I don't have the time to call him. Not that great.
Yeah,
Apparently he's here. He's been here. Right.
Oh
You
yeah.
have to go. You don't have to call him.
Just start putting the Saturdays.
Just invite him on there Saturdays instead of Sundays.
For people who don't know what we're pointing at and blubbering over, so there's a board where every week we put all of the spreads of the NFL games over here, and we have a pot where you just throw $5 in. You have to pick 4 games against the spread, and if you happen to hit all 4 games, you get everything in the pot, and the pot will just carry over week over week over week. So sometimes people will come in here and drop $5 and clear hundreds of dollars, for nothing. Now this is
That's when I get in.
Yeah, you wait till there's hundreds of dollars in there.
There's just $20. I'm not throwing $5 in there. I don't like those.
There's a handful of us degenerates who are like, someone won? Fuck that. It'll be 2 of us head to head having to get 4 picks for $10. But there's something about bragging rights.
They get you nothing. They pay no bills. No one cares.
Bragging rights?
Yeah.
My mortgage company actually allows me to pay in bragging rights.
Like crypto, bragging rights works.
Brendan Page's mortgage and Dogecoin and bragging rights.
I was going to give a screen door mortgage plug in that moment.
I wore
Probably belay that.
I have actually received a phone call from Screen Door Mortgage one time.
I have a bone to pick with Screen Door Mortgage.
I'm not sure.
Well, they picked a bone with me one week. They
That's
called
not
it.
how marketing works.
They said legally you can't say what you said last episode, and I was like, I'll never do that again. I didn't realize I was running. You got to give me a script if you're going to be a sponsor. Like, I'll stick to a script within reason.
You guys are big time now. You got a script. You got to get legal action.
I didn't know. So apparently,
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Screen Door Mortgage gets you fair and competitive rates.
Yeah.
And that's fair. You can say that.
They sound like a wonderful company.
But you certainly could not say that maybe any rates were better than someone else. That is unacceptable. And I'm not alluding to that.
And you should not give specific numbers out?
You should never give an actual percentage. You should no. These things
Do they have a coupon code?
God no. But I can tell you this: if you want good service,
I'm trying advocates on their website.
If you want good service, go to Screen Door Mortgage. Jimmy will take care of you. He'll hook you up with great
Jimmy.
service, and he'll find you a great rate.
Fair rate. A fair rate.
The best rate you can possibly get.
And some of us...
I can't even say.
Oh, I mean,
I
not
had my
that.
hand.
A fair rate. That's what.
Yeah, you're not helping.
Right. Sorry. I mean, the best rate
I have no commitment whatsoever to this group.
you're worthy of.
Oh my gosh! You made it worse.
I did.
We're gonna.
I'm going to shut up now. We will take that out.
I don't know how that got worse, but he did it.
I don't know why I have it in my mouth. I apologize.
For the record, Screen Door Mortgage did not pay for that spot. That spot doesn't count.
They don't pay for any spots.
I got a cup. You got a cup.
Yeah.
Market. Take that. Take
Cut
that
me.
You got a Screen Door Mortgage cup in front of you.
Yeah, I didn't get a big donation.
Anyway, Brendan, you were about to tell us something
Oh, thank God. Yes. Okay.
that was on the secret sheet of paper.
No,
that
so
you
I
have over there.
had a weird weekend this past weekend, and my wife is the opposite of spontaneous. Everything is planned. I know where we're going on
Deliberate.
vacation in a year. Mm-hmm. I know where we're staying. I know what we're doing. And then
I knew I liked her.
this past weekend, she said,
She doesn't
know-
like you.
I think she does. I don't. She actually told me I didn't introduce you to her the other night.
You did not?
No, that's not a you thing. I don't think she likes any of Brendan's friends. Actually, that's not true.
He's always been really nice to me.
The
nice.
ones y'all go party with, she loves.
Our text exchanges are very pleasant.
Oh,
Okay,
I take it all back.
he's coming for me. I'll take it.
That was a joke, folks.
There's no texting.
I'm not
It's
going to
just
lie. I'd be
pictures.
really disappointed if I found out Corey didn't like me because I'd like her. She's cool.
See,
Troy
thank
says
you.
she hates all of us.
She doesn't. Just hates him, and then he feels like he needs to paint the whole place with that brush.
Maybe it's me.
All
That's
right,
a good point.
That checks out.
That's what hurt men do.
Hurt
Who
people
hurt
hurt
you,
people.
Troy? Who hurt you, Troy?
Who hurt you, Troy? No, so this weekend, my wife was like, you know what? Let's be spontaneous. We were going away. We had Saturday, Sunday planned. We were going to a winery. We were going to an oyster festival. It was going to be a blast. But she said, Friday night, we both have off of work. Let's drive down to Charlottesville. We'll hit some wineries, and then we'll just find a place to stay wherever, we fall. And I was like, this is a great plan. I'm embracing your spontaneity because I'm always spontaneous and she's not. So I was like, this is great. We can go do whatever we want. We don't have to have any plans.
A million things could go wrong.
So I was super excited about this.
Like a big concert being in town.
Are you aware of the big concert this past weekend?
Yeah.
I was unaware. So
I've tried to stay in Charlottesville on a spontaneous weekend, and it's not.
Yeah.
Availability is a problem.
Apparently, yeah. So we drive down, we hit this winery, we have a couple drinks, we're having fun, and then we head on down the road. And I was like, this is a charming little town. Like, why don't we see what availability we have here? She's like, not a bad idea. So we start calling around. Everyone's like, no, God, no. We don't have any availability. And I was like, okay, well, obviously something's happening in this podunk little town. So we'll just head on down
so
the
you
road.
were Charlottesville adjacent at the time.
Yeah,
you weren't even in
around the country.
You weren't even in the booming metropolis.
What winery did you go to? What do you like to go? Where do you like to go when you're up there?
So I have a handful of wineries that I like to go to, but we had just left Lovingston.
Okay.
So this is further outside of Charleston or Charlottesville. I don't know. Are you familiar with Lovingston?
A little bit. We're a big Pippin Hill family on my side.
I know some Pippin Hill.
Blenheim, Pippin Hill. Maybe we'll hit Trump, something like that.
So Blenheim and I have issues this weekend on account of apparently.
The owner was in town.
Dave Matthews was in Charlottesville for a 2-night stint.
Oh, I did not know that.
So for Friday and Saturday night, Dave Matthews is in town for a big coming home party. So Blenheim is losing its mind with people. And
Was he playing?
yeah, 2 nights.
Oh, well,
Back
now I'm
to-
just mad
Not
at
at the
myself.
winery.
Now I'm just mad at myself. I didn't even know that was happening.
Yeah. So
Where?
John Paul
JBJ?
Jones. Yeah.
yeah, John Paul Jones.
So at a small venue then.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we and apparently they're having a what do they call it? Fake UN
Model UN.
model UN. Yeah. Okay. Well, semantics. Fake UN.
Yeah.
And so you have all these people coming in for the fake UN.
They're having a
model.
fake Anybody know what one of those are?
It's a faking.
So just make me feel a little better here, Brendan. You went to Charlottesville. Dave was playing at JPJ, and you didn't know.
Didn't know.
I feel automatically better about myself because I was like, I didn't know he was playing at JPJ either.
I'm glad that brought you joy.
Yeah.
Because it brought me so much pain.
Well, I wasn't in Charlottesville. I was in Maryland. So
Yeah, to be there. And then I start getting texts from people when they find out I'm in Charlottesville. They're like, bro, you got tickets? And I'm like, fuck you. Don't text me again. I didn't even know that this was happening. Like, this is
Do
bullshit.
you know anybody I can stay with?
Yeah. Like, do you have a relative, a grandma that needs someone to like wipe her ass? Because I desperately need a bed. So
Are you in the Forerunner? You can stay in the Forerunner.
I literally tried to convince my wife to drive out into the woods and just sleep. She's like, it's fucking freezing. I was like, it's not that cold. Like,
Yeah.
there's insulation in the truck. But so we drove there, right? And then we started going into Charlottesville, and I'm starting to look, and I'm like, every time I zoom in on a place, it's like $1,000 a night. I was like, this is ludicrous. And
No,
she's like,
Dave Matthews. Not
she's
Dave
like, well, we're not paying. No, ludicrous open.
I can see how you get them
for
mixed
Dave
up.
Matthews. It was insane. So I'm like,
No
what a
wonder
show.
so many people were there.
Yeah, it's the best show
Yeah.
ever.
I heard the Model UN was there too.
And then on top of that, and then they're telling us like, well, and the Model UN brings in tons of people. I'm like, okay, I think it's Dave is the problem. I don't think it's the Model UN. Like, I think I could
and
probably,
Ludacris.
I could probably get a room at the Holiday Inn if it was just the Model UN.
Yeah, maybe. You don't know.
Maybe. I don't know. Maybe I'm.
Maybe.
They are an intellectual bunch.
They are.
But so
They like to throw down.
I realized, all right, I can't get into Charlottesville. So not only is it saying it's like $1,000 a night, but like when you call them, they're like, oh no, we've been sold out.
Yeah.
Whatever. So I was like, all
It's
right, baby.
$1,000 a night if they had a spot, which they don't.
Yeah, so all the Airbnbs are sold, all of the bed and breakfasts are sold, everything's done. So I'm like, baby, don't worry. She's getting all frustrated, and I'm like, this is fine. We're
You're
gonna
only
head
an hour from home.
I was like, we're gonna head up over the mountain. Just head up over the mountain, and we'll go find somewhere else. Only to find out that the undefeated JMU Dukes are at home, and boy howdy is every person who ever went to JMU excited.
Yeah.
Very excited.
Waynesboro,
Game
Staunton,
days.
like
Yeah.
everything that's even close. So everything up the mountain is Dave Matthews.
North Chesterfield had some openings.
I believe that. I believe that.
You worked your
Quinta
way.
Inn over
So
by
you worked
Hooters.
your way away from home.
Oh yeah, because I thought, you know what's safe? Go over the mountain.
Okay.
So now I've pointed her in the wrong direction. So she's getting hotter, and I don't mean sexier.
I was on your side until you made that move.
I get it.
Yep.
I understand that people are going
After a
to.
day of winery hopping too, it's good to
Judgment.
drive aimlessly.
If you're gonna drive aimlessly towards your house.
What hour are we talking about right now?
Sun is up.
Okay.
This time of year.
It's early.
Pre-5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
so
before 5.
it's still pretty early.
Oh, I've realized that we have a serious problem by 3 o'clock.
Yeah,
Okay.
you can be pretty twisted at 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon if you go on.
Oh, I'm not discounting that. I was just curious if we were still day drinking or.
Yeah.
In our
Mike,
defense,
Mike was worried, like, is it getting close to bedtime,
Yeah,
or do you
yeah,
have a few hours to iron
What is
this
the
out?
urgency that you need to sleep?
yeah. In our defense, we're not hammered and we're not tired yet. So like we're just like we'll go over the mountain.
Like, at what point were you like, hey, you want to really be spontaneous? Let's go to Radford.
Literally tried it. She wasn't having it. And I even said, Lynchburg is only 30 minutes from where we are. And she's like, yeah, but where we need to be, it's like an hour or some. So
Where do
she
you need
was
to be?
the next day. We had to be
Oh,
at
you had
this festival.
something going. Oh, okay.
So, and we had a house, so we had to be
I
there.
think you left that part.
Either way, it's possible. But so she wanted to stay closer, so I was like, we go over the mountain.
Uh-huh.
Which turns out that there's a whole nother set of issues on that side of it. So we start popping in. And at first, I'm being picky. I'm in Waynesboro. Like, I could be picky. Like, I'll take something fairly nice. And I walk in, and they're like, you're kidding, right?
Yeah.
There's nothing here. So finally, this one lady takes pity on me, and she's like, look, I can tell you that every single hotel within like a mile of here is sold out. And then this toothless wonder comes walking over and goes, and don't go in downtown. I wouldn't go over there. And I'm like, fuck, you do meth. And you're telling me not to go over there. So I'm like, we got to take that off. And then she's like, but if you try the Best Western Plus, which I'm thinking plus.
Plus, that sounds
Yeah.
nice.
That sounds nice, right?
An
Like
upgrade
I bet
from
they got a
Best
breakfast.
Western.
Yeah.
I bet they got a breakfast.
It's a Best Western plus cigarette butts on your
Yeah.
pillow.
all of the above.
They got these nice pillows though.
So I roll into the Best Western Plus, and there's this woman who's clearly got
Panty dropper for
COVID and the
sure,
flu.
right?
She's like trying to help me out. But when I walk in, I'm immediately hit with the smell of hairspray and cigarettes.
Sure.
Like
So you were erect.
widely. Yeah. So now
Yeah.
I'm just raging hard. And then I noticed that there's like little girls with like Honey Boo Boo makeup all
Oh,
over their
no.
face, running around in like bathing suits and like evening dresses. And I'm like, and like disgusting mothers. I'm like, what is happening here? And I'm like, all right, ignore all of this craziness. It's like, do you have any rooms? And she's like, I think I actually have one room left.
Barb, did they get the body out of 112 yet?
She goes, it's an extended stay room. It's got 2 beds, a pull-out
That's an
kitchen,
apartment.
a living room.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's got an apartment on the top floor. And
We
she's
just
like,
evicted them this morning.
That's right.
yeah, she's like, I've got it, but it's expensive. And I'm like, what's expensive? Because I'm
She doesn't
dealing
know
with.
BK because he's like, yeah, I like expensive.
Oh, I had just been nickel and diming my wife. I was like, $250 in Waynesboro. I'm not spending $250. We get to this place. I'm like, I don't care what comes out of her mouth.
Yeah.
Like, there is not a room in 100.
That's gonna $86 a night.
Tell your wife it costs
Gonna-
$150.
So she goes, well, we do have the Little Miss pageant going on. And I'm like, what is happening?
Did you get some tickets?
So
complimentary.
I did make up
Brendan
for
strolling around in his mustache at the Little Miss pageant.
I'm one of
That's
the judges.
worst thing. I walk in this mustache to the Little Miss pageant, and I'm like, I'm here to do makeup.
They're like, motherfucker, get out! I'm calling the police.
But so I did end up scoring a room, and in the time that she was like, I got this one. If I was like, I'll take it. She got 3 phone calls.
Oh, yeah.
Before I was even done, people
Oh, wow.
like, do you have anything? Like, please. So I ended up in this hotel with the Little Miss pageant, and it was the craziest shit for 24 hours. I mean, all night long, hairspray being sprayed on by women who were way past their prime and trying to live through this.
Never had a prime.
One of them was Miss Rockingham County from what had to be
86.
30 years ago. Yeah. Dude, she looked god awful. And I think it was actually kind of like what's happened to Rockingham County. You could just see it's gone downhill. But she was taking selfies in her old sash and all this stuff. Like they were reliving the glory days. The whole weekend, you couldn't get an elevator, or the whole night.
Yeah.
You couldn't get an elevator. You couldn't get fucking anything. And every corner of this hotel was someone putting makeup on a kid, like, stand up straight, do this.
Why wouldn't you go into your extended stay room and just lock the door for the night?
Because we had to eat.
Oh.
We had to find a way, and they certainly didn't have food there, even though it's a plus.
No, what was your sweet deal on the room?
What did the plus do for you?
$350.
$350 for the night.
$350 for a night.
That's probably usually a week at that place.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, in that moment, after I'd started seeing everything that happened, I said, just give me the room.
Yeah.
Fortunately, it was next to a barbecue joint, so that was cool.
How was barbecue?
Barbecue was actually great. Yeah, I had a lot of barbecue. And just like, whatever, give me the deal. But you wouldn't believe this, but there was, when we came back from dinner, the cops were there. Apparently there was quite the scuffle.
What?
Between some of the pageant moms.
No.
Yes, the police.
That doesn't sound like the pageant moms.
The cops were there, and they were
Maybe
looking
do
for
some
me.
community service.
There he is. There he is.
We're
There's
looking
the
for this
mustachio
gentleman.
creeper.
What's awkward is like I had left all my beer in the truck. And like I had to go out, and like I was like nervous. I was like, I gotta wait for these cops to go away so I can go back downstairs and get my beer. But I still
Why?
feel like
I think
still
a guy
feel like
drinking beer is the least of their worries. It seems
Yeah.
like.
Turns out, yeah, because when I walked out, like there's a cop inside, and outside is nothing but pageant moms and dads just smoking pot, drinking beer. I was like, okay, there's like a whole party. But apparently there was a hell of a fight. So the Little Miss pageant, it's not as glamorous as you think.
I don't think anyone thought it was.
I don't think anybody. Yeah, that was not what jumped in my mind.
You know what's crazy?
When you led with Honey Boo Boo, I think we all
that's
kind
what I
of.
was thinking.
The bar got dropped.
Yeah.
the bar was low.
Yeah.
I can't. And when I saw the sign, when I first walked in, I smelled the hairspray and the cigarettes, and I saw the sign. It was like the Miss pageant, and I was like, jackpot.
So
and
was
then all
that-
the kids started. I was like, oh, wrong kind of.
So was the event at the hotel?
Yes.
In like
The
the
Best
conference
Western
room.
Plus was hosting
Oh,
the pageant.
Does it
They
have
were-
a ballroom?
That was the
No.
plus.
They were maybe, but it seemed to me that they were just all congregating in the lobby and then taking them into a room and taking pictures. And
All
like,
those places have
Rating.
ballrooms that you can rent out. All those crappy hotels.
Seems
That's how
more
they
like
make
a
their.
child trafficking event.
It does.
Yeah.
It was-
does.
no, it
really
was-
does.
Might
I
have
don't
been
know
while
if
the
we
cops
talked
were
about
there.
this.
Yeah.
I'm just saying it was awkward for me, my mustache, and my wife.
So the wife had a good time.
At the barbecue joint. I'm telling you, the barbecue joint was great.
So when's your next spontaneous adventure?
It'll never, no. So then, as excited as I was that she was about to become spontaneous, she dropped this one on me. Well, we're never doing that again.
Yeah.
I'm sticking with planning. I've learned my lesson. This is not how we roll.
Dude, I was gonna do our cross country trip like that, and luckily my wife's a planner, and she's like, I really want to plan out most of our stops. I was like, if you want to do the legwork, go for it. Then we're driving to places. I'm like, thank God you did all this legwork. What was my plan? Just get in the car and drive till we're tired?
Yeah.
That would have been awful.
But it seems like you can do that.
Everything
you
that
don't
seems
know
like it. It's
where-
like every project around the house that takes seemingly 10 minutes involves 4 trips to Home Depot in a half a
Yeah.
day.
That's what I learned.
Yeah.
Funny enough, we went to Charlottesville for our anniversary, and we were kind of dicking around with the plans and stuff. And I don't know, it's our anniversary. I don't know why I got stuck with the planning, and if it fell flat, it was somehow
Your fault?
my fault. But anyway, so neither here nor there. I found a spot that online, dinner's supposed to be pretty good, and we went to dinner at 4:30 like grown-ups, and dinner was fine. It was kind of a shitty, I don't know, all those places in Charlottesville, they're older places, and so the building's kind of crap. But the food was
the food's good.
The food was good, and we were like, well, it started pouring down rain. Like, what do you want to do or whatever? And we had no answers, so we were like, well, we'll just go back to the. It was kind of like an Airbnb, not an Airbnb, a bed and breakfast.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I was like, I don't know. I didn't want to just like cram her in like a normal like hotel, and everything was like taken or like super expensive or whatever.
Yes, you thought you'd do something nice.
I was like, I'd do something a little different. So it was like, oh, this historic home or whatever. We'll go there, and they do a breakfast in the morning that sounds kind of cool, and like just something different. So we go there, and we like walk in, and the owners are like at the orchestra for the night. So they're fancy people, I guess. But like, and we walk in, it's like a room smaller than the Pallet House, and most of that's taken up by a bed. And I like look at my wife, and the level of disappointment in her eyes was
Yeah.
like,
isn't that the worst?
yeah. Luckily, I bought a laptop so we can just watch Netflix like we do at our house.
But on a smaller screen.
We
Right,
could have
in
done
a smaller
some-
room.
There's no TV in the room, by
For
the way.
more
It's
money.
it's that old.
Yeah.
That's old. Yeah, it wasn't cheap, by the way. And I look at her and I go, we can get in the car and be home in less than an hour.
Yeah, yeah.
She's like, no.
This is exactly
This
what I
is
wanted.
great.
Yeah.
And I'll never live that down. But it was more like the same situation where it was like I looked for days and days and days, and it was like there's nothing really available.
No.
So we actually went to Charlottesville for our anniversary in September and stayed at a little bed and breakfast that was right down the street from Blue Mountain.
Never stayed at a bed and breakfast.
On your wife's recommendation, we went to Hazy Mountain.
This is a great little spot.
Yeah, which is brewery
Where the
slash
fuck were you
winery.
guys when I was trying to figure this out?
Let us know. I spend a lot of time in that area.
This place had a TV, and conveniently, we were playing Pittsburgh that night. So
Super
my wife and I
romantic.
day drank all day, and then went to Blue Mountain for dinner, got some pizza, and then
Blue Mountain's cool.
Got
It's a
a
cool
couple
spot.
6-packs
Yeah.
to go, and stumbled back to our room. It had a TV, put on some ESPN Plus, watched WVU in Pittsburgh, and it was a fantastic evening.
So
It's not all bad in Charlottesville.
Yeah,
You're
what
just
kind of
rubbing her
place-
face in it? Is
No
that
shit.
what's
Just trying to like pump Charlottesville back up a little bit.
Okay,
It's
okay.
not always important.
Adam is sitting
It's
back
a great
here.
little town.
Adam grew
That
up.
being said, the bed
Adam
and
grew up
breakfast
in-
did not have breakfast. We had to go into Charlottesville for breakfast.
Yeah.
Adam grew up in
the
Charlottesville and is
Yeah.
wishing he could get on the mic and tear that place apart.
Come on, Adam. You could jump over here. You can jump
Adam
over here
hates
if you want.
Charlottesville.
I love it. I was there all weekend. 2 out of 3 nights were
If
absolutely
you need to know a
spectacular.
nice extended stay place, Brennan's your
Brennan's
guy.
your guy?
Yeah.
Look, this was the one time I didn't plan it. I was already working through some things. She said, "No, we'll be spontaneous," and bit us in the ass.
We've all learned something.
We're all better people.
Yeah, I learned that the Fish and Pig is a pretty good barbecue place.
Oh, you
The
stayed at that
name-
extended stay.
The name
Yes.
is
I know exactly where you stayed. That's
Literally walked across the parking lot to the Fish and Pig.
the
don't even know-
name
you
of
don't
the
even-
barbecue place is Fish and Pig.
Yeah,
Fish and Pig.
I'm out. Yeah, I'm sorry. I was.
Yeah,
with
their
you, but,
food's
like,
amazing.
the play was great.
Yeah.
No,
I
like
stay-
that was the highlight
Pig?
of that
I
Friday.
stay in that place for
the Fish
work.
and Pig or the
right next to it. And when
The
he says
Plus.
when he says you walk across the parking lot, you don't have to leave the parking lot.
No, they
share
touch.
a parking
They
lot.
touch.
Yeah.
yeah. No, I was like, baby, this is. I'm looking out, and I see neon lights, and I see pig, and I'm like, yeah, 350 is just fine.
Yeah.
Just sign me up because I'm going in that place, and I'm not gonna be able to drive out because I'm pissed.
Yep.
And yeah, sure enough, I couldn't.
Troy,
drive
I'm
out.
guessing you did not pay $350.
No, not at all.
Yeah, what does a room in that place go for?
Actually, now that I say it,
$86.
I don't stay there. I stay across the street.
Oh no, that's not available.
But our
That's fancy
our
shit.
conference is in that place, in that ballroom.
So that's what the plus is.
yeah.
There's a
I
conference.
guess.
Because it ain't the gym.
I'm trying to visualize a Best Western that has a conference center. That's what I'm trying to.
Yeah.
I'm trying to wrap my head around that.
It just looks like every other shitty hotel. I mean, I call that town of Waynesboro, like that part, I call it a suburban hellscape. Like it is just
It
every
is.
chain restaurant and every chain hotel, like it just looks like bleh.
That's
Like-
why just seeing the Fish and Pig.
And the Fish and Pig's like one of the only mom and pop places there, and it's got amazing food.
It's got a view of 2 different highways.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Very nice. There's
Very nice.
mountains just past
Like the Fishing Pig is literally
That
at the
John
intersection
Denver's
of
full of
whatever
shit.
of the 81 and whatever crossroads it is. Like it's
Yeah,
right there.
It's a mess. But
I'm glad you got that.
I missed it.
I missed it.
I missed
He
it.
said
Not
that,
important.
that John Denver's full of shit, man.
Yeah, that's basically it. Dude, I saw an argument today online, which is not saying
Just
much.
one.
Yeah. That was about where like that whole John Denver song.
It's about Virginia.
about Virginia.
It's
Oh my
actually about
God,
Virginia.
we're not going into that. Move on. Next topic.
No,
It's
no.
a fact.
I mean,
It's a fact.
I mean, no. West Virginia's not even a real state, is it?
Yeah.
Yes.
They barely got schools there.
Blue Ridge Mountains, Shenandoah River. These are things that are
These
in
are-
Virginia.
yeah.
But I got to
Plotted
watch
out.
an
Both of them
argument.
actually touch Virginia or West Virginia.
They do.
And if we want to really get technical,
You've
they
done some
were in
thinking about
Maryland when they wrote the
No,
damn
this
song.
is what I learned today. It was a couple from New York that was traveling to
fucking with
Maryland, and the
Keo.
song was written in like D.C., but it was or written in Maryland. Maybe it was a couple from D.C., but yeah.
So
And
that's how songs that are written have to be. You have to be in the place to write it about the
Wait,
place.
songs aren't geographically accurate.
they were on a road trip, but technically there is a corner of West Virginia that does contain both. So it could be. Now,
Mike, Keo's shaking his head.
So it was
the
John
affirmative.
Denver and this woman named Tippy,
oh gosh,
and-
okay, we got an expert on this.
Yeah.
and then her boyfriend. And all I know is that Tippy was my dad's college roommate's sister.
Okay, so we do have a first-hand account. So then, okay, then let's get into this argument because you seem to have a lot of knowledge.
Well, I've just spent
The
a lot
Blue
of time
Ridge
defending
Mountains.
it.
He went
The
to
Blue Ridge
WVU,
Mountains.
so he's
And yeah, that's
he's-
the beauty of this situation because we all know the Blue Ridge Mountains and the Shenandoah River
All
run right
yeah.
through Virginia.
On the surface,
Yes.
it is definitely about Virginia.
on the surface.
But it has been adopted out by
when you
West
peel
Virginia.
back the layers,
Yes.
the Blue Ridge Mountains do in fact touch West Virginia, and the Shenandoah River does. in
Didn't
fact.
John
And he
Denver
does say
confirm
West Virginia.
that it was about Virginia?
No. Originally,
He
the
never
song
said anything.
Yeah.
Let's call him up.
The only reason West Virginia got in is because the way they had written the song, the syllables make
Yeah.
the most sense.
Not Western Virginia.
Well, they couldn't even. Oh, I didn't even think they were going that direction.
I think the song was about Western Virginia.
They were actually trying
Yeah.
to write a song about Maryland, and then they were so inspired.
But then they were
during
like,
the road
Maryland
trip.
is.
And then
Nobody
the next
writes
thing you get
garbage.
into is
Yeah.
West Virginia. from
Nobody
Maryland,
writes fucking
so-
songs about Maryland.
Yeah.
Maryland people don't like to go to
No
Maryland.
one,
Yeah.
right? No one.
We can agree on this.
What do they sing at the
Literally-
Preakness? Is there a song?
Yeah.
Like Old Kentucky Home at the Kentucky. Is there not a song for the Preakness? I don't know. I'm asking.
I'm guessing 80% of people don't know the Preakness is in
They
Maryland.
Yeah.
they probably just sing the Terps fight song or some shit.
Yeah, Maryland's
It's
the
such
worst.
It's probably just gunshots ringing out.
Wow.
Maryland's tough.
Maryland's a
You
shit.
know,
Maryland's a
Maryland's
shithole.
bigger than Baltimore, which
Yeah.
was a side shot at Baltimore. See,
Well,
Yeah, I'd like to exclude Annapolis from this analogy.
Yeah.
because
Yeah, Annapolis is great.
is a fine town.
Yeah.
yeah, I agree. It's gorgeous.
there's parts of like country area of Maryland. It's beautiful,
Yeah.
but
Yes.
generally Maryland sucks.
Yeah, the rest of it sucks.
I actually love Maryland.
Yeah. The Eastern Shore's nice.
Of course you do.
Well, that's right.
Exactly.
Yeah, Eastern Shore is very nice.
No, Brendan just likes secrets.
I saw recently.
Ooh, I do like secrets. Ocean City for life. What?
I did recently
OC.
see some sort of a TikTok analysis about, Darius Rucker, Old Crow Medicine Show. What's the song?
Wagon wheel.
Wagon Wheel. And they're like, this motherfucker took the most circuitous route to freaking wherever he was going.
Yeah.
They're like Roanoke and what, like all this.
Yeah.
And they're like, I have no idea how he's trying to get where he was going.
Johnson.
And I was like, that's a really
Tennessee,
good point.
yeah.
They're like, the only way we can figure is he was swung way out here to get over here. It's a pretty funny TikTok
I mean, it's
around.
hitchhiking.
Well, it's a wagon
Go,
wheel.
yeah. You go where you
know?
can.
It was pretty funny because they were like that. I never really considered the route he was taking.
No, I hadn't thought about that. He's like, I need to get there in a week.
Someone did because someone's like, "That's my favorite song," and I'm gonna take that route.
Yeah.
and we're gonna take the wagon wheel trip. And then
They're like,
someone's plotting it out, and they're like, "Wait, what
Where
the hell?"
fuck am I going?
Do you think that in the end was good for Old Crow Medicine Show? That
Yeah,
Darius
they
Rucker
gotta
was
get
so
royalties from
popular?
it,
Of course.
Because I mean that.
they're getting royalties from it, right?
Ask Tracy Chapman.
Nah, see, that's fucked out. Like Tracy Chapman, that song was popular. That was famous. She
Yeah, but-
crushed it. She won a
Old Crow,
Grammy.
Old Crow
Right,
can
but she's
tell me
getting
they
new
were.
checks now.
Yeah,
Yeah, Old Crow can tell me they were famous before Darius.
exactly.
No, but I'm
Yeah.
saying you can't bring Tracy Chapman and Old Crow Medicine Show. Like Tracy Chapman was.
Yeah, but
Super
it
popular.
won more accolades
Yeah, I
on the
think that-
country chart than it did on
I
the.
think there's a statute of limitations on it for me, so I'm okay with Fast Car because
it's
like
so long ago.
so long ago.
Well, some covers like
It bothers me.
"Faith" by Limp Bizkit is better, obviously, than the George Michael.
They did a version of Faith. I didn't know that.
Oh
Nice. No.
yeah, everything by Limp Bizkit's obviously
Now
gonna
we're
be
just taking
better.
turns trying to
Okay.
upset each other.
For the record,
Wait, hold on.
not even here for the
your
nookie.
mustache is offended. Your mustache
You're
is
not even
offended.
here
Wait,
for the
You don't
nookie.
even bring
Keith's
that
trying to
up.
jump in here.
Sorry, what you said just kind of struck a nerve because what do you think about Watchtower?
I don't like any version of it.
Well,
Okay.
no, I like
That's a
every
hot
version
take.
of
That's
it.
a hot take.
I like every version. Sans the original. Dylan,
Okay. So
I like all the covers better.
but what I'm saying is
That one's
Jimi
an inter-
Hendrix
That
remade that song like what 3 years after Dylan wrote it.
Yeah, and
Like,
far better.
I mean,
Yeah, but-
I don't know actual years, but
No, you're right. I mean,
What was Mike's take?
They're a
All
lot closer.
Originals
Yeah.
are
he
better.
was okay with Tracy Chapman because or the
just because
Tracy
it's
Chapman
20,
remake because it was
20 25 years
ago.
difference, right? Like, I think that's fine. But somebody like spins up a song that was popular 3 years ago. Good call on Watchtower, but I think Watchtower is kind of like, hey, we're legends. Let's all do a version of the song.
I
I
think
kind of get okay with it, but like if fucking Jelly Roll does a version of it, I'm like, fuck off, dude. Like, do you know, does that make sense? Like,
Yeah.
it does, but I think Mike brings up a bigger point, and that's Dylan got covered by everybody in a very short period of time. But I think that's more
Dylan
of
sucks.
I think that's more of
Dylan was a
The fact
writer that
that
tried to be a musician.
Dylan's a
and,
great writer. He's not a great
right.
musician.
And so everybody that was a great musician was like, hey, bro, I got it from here.
Yeah, don't mind if I do. Boy, is that catchy. That's just kind of how Dylan was. Dylan never had a mustache, did he? Are we hating on the wrong dude?
sometimes, sometimes,
I don't think so.
He should have.
sometimes the covers are better.
Would have covered his face a little better.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what,
No.
I saw Darius Rucker cover Purple Rain, and that was fucking awesome.
So Pearl Jam cover Purple Rain once.
He's still playing, by the way.
Yeah, but did you understand anything they
Prince?
said?
No, Dylan. Prince is
The best joke I heard all night was his eye roll. Just then. He literally rolled his eye. Ironically,
Pearl Jam.
they did bring
Pearl
out a different singer. Eddie just sang backup.
For what?
Purple Rain.
Yeah.
Who was the backup singer?
Eddie was the
It's a
backup
war-
singer.
No, I mean, I'm sorry. Who was the that's
Literally anyone.
that is a wild way to go about it. They're like, you know what we need here? Words.
And you know what it was? It was done as an encore.
No one's gonna know what song this is if we can't really.
It
nail
was
the-
done as the final encore too.
Yeah.
Which was
So who'd they bring
kind
out?
of crazy.
Like somebody
I don't
like-
know, but the dude was fantastic.
Anyone out of the crowd is better.
People are like, Pearl Jam when they do words, pretty fucking awesome.
It was really exceptional. Quite a band. Quite a band. And Eddie just singing a little bit of background. It was
Because backgrounds that's his wheelhouse. He's just like,
it was pretty glorious. I don't agree with anything you're saying. but I will say that
best background singer in
Yeah.
the world.
I will say that rendition was really phenomenal, and I don't even know who was singing it.
Just some random
That's
guy.
all
They're
you
like-
need to know about Pearl
they're
Jam
like,
right
do
there.
you enunciate? You're in.
Don't
You're
know
perfect.
who sang for Eddie, but it was better than Eddie.
Didn't say it was better than Eddie. I haven't
That's
heard
what
Eddie
you
do
said.
it. No, I just said it was
Eddie
really
can't
phenomenal.
do it. Eddie can't.
He
do it.
can't.
He can't do it.
He can do it.
Thank you.
Shut your mouth.
Yes.
Y'all are awful.
Oh, thank God.
I have never heard him enunciate.
No.
He doesn't have to enunciate.
Never said one word completely.
You know what doesn't
I'm
have
surprised he can
enunciation?
give interviews.
Yeah.
Wow.
He can't talk.
He
cannot
can
say
make-
words.
He enunciates just fine.
Why does he choose not to sing?
Yeah.
I will not stand for this blasphemy.
Thank you.
That's why you're sitting.
All right.
I'm glad we have, glad there's,
But the other guy,
no, really
really good.
pretty, quite talented.
I don't understand why Pearl Jam fans act that way. Like, I have music that I like that I don't try to say is the greatest music
Because
ever.
we
But
don't
Pearl
sit
Jam
there-
fans are like, he is a great singer. Like, he is, if you're going to be true to yourself, he is not a good singer.
The
like,
problem
why is that the
whatever,
worst thing to say
whatever
about the guy?
band you're defending, we're not constantly shitting on and trying to give examples how bad they are. We
But
just go,
I'm not
I
also
disagree.
telling you this band is the greatest band that's ever banded.
if you
I do not think they are the greatest band that's ever banded.
Magicians.
They could be magicians.
That was a call
Sorry.
to pre-show.
Pre-show
That was
callback.
funny.
no, that's what was so funny is I'm laughing, but it's like no one even.
No one knows. No one knows.
Yes.
Eddie and Shaq just hanging out.
Eddie and Shaq.
I'd see that band.
Fucking right, I would. You know Shaq.
Shaq Fu and
Yeah,
Eddie
Shaq
Vedder.
Fu. What was Shaq's rap name? Was it Shaq? It wasn't
I think it
Shaq,
was Shaq Fu, yeah.
Was it?
Fu.
Yeah.
Was it?
Yeah.
Do you know he met the Fu Schnickens that day when they did the video?
No.
Yeah. It was not a coordinated, like, planned thing.
Well, he's a freestyler.
Yeah, I
A
mean,
natural talent.
Pearl Jam, Fu Schnickens, Shaq. It's
They're all on the same
basically
page.
the same thing.
We're not having this argument. This is not even. I just don't understand how this show does what it does. That's how I know we've been on too long.
Yeah.
I was waiting. I was like, Brendan's going to end this soon.
I'm ending it right now. I want to go ahead and throw out one more plug for M4KRichmond.org.
Yes.
They're
You're a
new.
stand-up guy.
Very easy website to remember, M4KRichmond.org. You head over there. It's probably the easiest way that you can donate money to one organization and make sure that 100% of your in-kind donation goes directly to organizations in the area that will help children's lives. And there's a lot of different charities involved in this. You said there's 20 plus charities this year?
22,
or
23,
something like that.
I mean, it's pretty amazing that we're even at a point where we can do that. Because I remember when it was just a very small handful of charities that we were able to raise enough money to support. So it's pretty exciting. We've got a rookie grower who had just walked in here just a minute ago, which is beautiful because these rookie growers are like cockroaches. They just is that not the right term? Rabbits.
I don't know if this is the recruiting pitch we need.
Yeah.
It's
No, we love all growers. We want them to stay. And especially if you're a rookie, because you're going to have a good time. And we're going to get some cool merch.
You got to meet some
So-
cool guys.
Yeah.
And Brendan.
Mark your calendar.
and me.
Yeah.
But I also think you're going to have a very good time doing it because there is a certain rush from doing good that we could all use, especially this time of year as you head into the holidays and
Yep.
you're thinking about how can I do good, and you can do good a couple different ways. You could donate, you could grow, but we're here this time of year to do good in the community, and it's a
lot of
local
good.
community.
Yep.
So it's exciting to see. I think it's a lofty goal. I hope we can get there, and so I do want to solicit the support of the listeners that are out there. If you haven't had a chance, you don't have to donate to me. You don't have to donate to Troy, but please donate to M4KRichmond.org. Just head over there. I'd like it to be on the inside of the Powerhouse,
Yeah.
because that's how we got you here. But
Yep.
neither here nor there, or a couple mics. Find some mics.
Yeah.
So is there
Whichever
anything
you find best looking.
tough?
That's
tough.
I don't know that you want to funnel all that to me.
What are you going to do with all those bags of money?
Well, I've already won a Goose Award,
I'm
Mike. so-
catching bags. over
Oh,
here.
now.
Ooh,
Goose
sharp
Award.
elbow there.
Is there anything that either of you do want to bring up or mention here at the end of the episode about M4K or this year's efforts?
Nah, I mean, I give Brendan a lot of shit, obviously, but I do
Deserve it.
I do have a ton of fun coming out here with you guys, and I appreciate. I think we came on a few years back, and it was like, hey, it was a cool thing to do, and now you guys are just so ingrained in the culture, so ingrained at part of the group, and I really do appreciate that. I think you've done a ton for, maybe your team doesn't raise the most money or anything like that, but I think your team does a ton for the camaraderie of our organization, and I'm just truly appreciative of it.
Yeah, it's pretty sad when your team raises $54,000 and you don't raise the most money.
But if
We're
you
trying.
Go back in time 10 years ago.
That would have been all the money.
We're better than all of them. The problem is we live in the now.
Yeah.
We live in the now. But that is actually a big part of what our team tries to do is foster a sense of community, because it's difficult to foster a sense of community with 400 people, but it's a little easier when it's like 20.
Yeah.
And you can.
I was sorry to interrupt you. I was joking with I think it was Troy and Lee last night, or Abacus, sorry, last night, and they're like expressing all this frustration about like, my guys from last year didn't come back. I'm like, yes, welcome.
Yeah, welcome to the team.
Welcome to management.
Yes.
It's like you're having microcosm of what we struggle with every year. It's like, how do we get guys to come back? How do we add to the population of growers versus like having to replenish a lot of growers?
I'm like, we had like a great team last year. The like 5 or 6 guys that didn't come back, like they were in, they did well, they have fun. We do all of
I've been calling them, I've been emailing them, and they won't respond.
we do all this. We foster this team thing where we host a party and we give out individual awards and like we make it fun.
Parties in 2 weeks. I'm excited about.
I'm like, if we can't get them engaged, like, good luck to everybody that's just doing the meetups and
Yeah, sure.
We're a little more loosey goosey. We do this big fundraiser, right? This is going to be the Sunday just before it all ends, and we come over here and we gamble on sports. Like,
I wouldn't mind an invite to that, by the way.
you are invited. And we come over and we do we put all the spreads on the board, and none of the money's allowed to like go into your FanDuel. You can't use your.
That's
apps.
not the funny part.
No, but I'm saying that's where it starts.
Yeah,
where you
that's where
start
it
putting money on games and you bet against growers, and like that's how much you have to donate to that person if you lose the bet. So that's where it starts, and that starts getting the competitive juices flowing. And I have seen literally who can jump higher. I've seen a lot of money go by. I saw more money last year on who can hit a tree with a frisbee.
Yeah,
and like
that
we're
was
just
big.
throwing frisbees. My dog made $20 last year because he caught.
It was like, who thinks the dog can catch the frisbee this throw? I got $20 on it. I bet he does. And I bet he does. I bet he
Everyone's
does.
betting against each other.
You just see somebody lazily toss a frisbee, and then like a roar erupts. Like either way, like
Yeah, because $100 just went to the kids, and at the end of the day, you look down at like your little sheet, and you're like, okay, well, I owe like $200 towards this stuff, and it's all like $10 bets, $20 bets. But then at the end, you look at the other side of the ledger, and you're like, yeah, but I raised $200.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's just a lot of fun. It's little things like that we're trying to do, but it's so much
that's
easier
awesome.
with a small.
I'll tell you what, for $1,000, I'll race Adam in a couple weeks.
I tell you what. Well, okay, he's got a club on his foot.
food on.
But we did a foot race one year.
Yeah.
Where the Duke and I had to run across the yard.
You about broke this bar.
touch a tree. Yeah,
this.
I came in and it was wet. And I got to the end, and when I jumped in here, I didn't realize I couldn't stop, and I slid across the whole floor and slammed into the bar. Fortunately, none of the
Solidly
money, none of the money that was donated went to medical bills. We put it all into the 4K, and the insurance picked up the rest.
It is funny how it just goes right to like 4th grade antics. Like, bet you can't touch that limb. I bet you I can touch that limb. Like,
Give me 3 tries, I'll get there.
Do you remember a few years ago at what was the brewery? Oh man.
Oh, come on. It's not
was- that was
regulation
Brendan.
height. It's not regulation
I
height.
honestly did not remember it was Brendan. I swear to God, I did
What
not
brewery
remember.
was that?
It was Abacus and Brendan were having. They were trying to touch a beam in a brewery,
yes.
and
Gosh, what brewery? We
It's
haven't been there in a
it's
while.
the Charlottesville brewery that has the beer
Star
called,
Hill.
Star Hill.
no,
Yeah,
is
it's
it
Star Hill
Yeah,
in Scott's edition.
I mean, Abacus got it.
Brendan like
easy.
tried like
I mean,
3
he
times
got
and
it
couldn't
easy. You got it easy.
I'm not. Look, I'm a recovering world-class athlete.
Brendan like worked himself up,
He really
and Abacus
did.
just took
He
one
really
step
did.
and popped up, and like his whole hand was on. It was like
I got to be honest. I didn't think he was going to get it, but he did it so
did it
easy.
so
He
easily.
did it so easy. It was amazing.
He'll be here next Sunday. The bets will happen.
Okay.
I will get my.
How tall you think that
How
beam
old
was?
is
It
Abacus?
was over 10 feet. I know that. It was not regulation.
early 30s.
Not 10 feet.
Late
It's over
20s.
10.
still
Over
young.
10.
Yeah,
I agree. It's
he's a
over
youth.
10 feet.
Abacus did not touch a 10-foot pole.
It was 14 or 15
on a
feet, I
straight
think.
vertical.
I think so. Maybe 16. Maybe 16.
Well, it was overall that like broken glass, and it was on fire
right,
too.
Right.
I remember all that. It was like blood
Right.
sport in that motherfucker. Very difficult.
I'm pretty
They
sure he
turn around
committed
for
to
a
coming
football
back
over the
next week and
mountains.
doing it again.
Yeah.
Look, we will be having challenges. Money will be raised for children, and I'm hoping I can get to my goal.
As long as I got to compete against Adam. I'm not competing against anybody else.
No, frisbee tosses. That's we have so many frisbees over here of various sizes.
Oh, they had a game going last year where it's 2 against 2, like who can throw the frisbee without dropping it one-handed, like, and it was like watching Olympic caliber athletes. Like every throw, like everybody's just like, is he no? And then someone would bobble it and it'd be like, oh, you almost dropped it. You had to like hold your beer with one hand and you had to catch it with the other hand, and you had to be 10 paces apart or whatever. And it was like,
science to it.
It sounds serious.
Okay, but that's actually the whole point, right? Is that it's not serious, but it's serious business. We're raising money, growing mustaches. I get that doesn't sound serious, but the work we are doing, the money that you're going to, it's going to serious causes. This is the kind of stuff that helps kids with cancer, kids who are sick, kids who don't have enough food to eat, kids who are dealing with things at home that no human, especially a child, should be dealing with. And all of these charities help in so many ways, from emotional to physical and everything in between. And this is our opportunity to raise money for those and do some good. Yes, the conduit is a little funny. It's mustaches, but the work is serious. And so I do want to make sure people understand that all joking aside, we're doing this for a good cause. And I do encourage you, if you want to support the podcast this year, don't send us money at our Venmo. Send the money to M4KRichmond.org. Find the opportunity to go there, donate some money. Let it be known it was for the podcast. That's fine. And we will take it in kind. It's that kind of support, though. This is the stuff we get jazzed about. It's more important that you send the $20 to that than to us buying beer. I promise you I'll find a way to get more beer. I just will. I've been doing it for so long. I know I will. It'll work itself out. I've been unemployed. I always find beer. But I can't always help people that are in more need than me, and this is a way to do it. Mike and Mike, thank you guys so much for coming out. Thank you guys for being on the board. Troy, thank you for being on the board. All of you guys.
My pleasure.
You guys are doing a lot of work. I choose not to participate at that level, but I will grow a mustache and raise money. But I know you guys put in a lot of work, a lot of effort. It takes a lot of time. It's not easy. So thank you all so much for what you do. We certainly appreciate it. I'm not going to put any plugs out there tonight. I'm not going to do any other stuff. I'm just going to let it ride out. Head over to M4KRichmond.org. Donate. It would be awesome.
Cheers.
Thank you all so much. Cheers.
Cheers. That was a pretty good podcast, don't you think?